I make sound decisions because I pay attention to details. I make decisions knowing that I'm creating the building blocks of my new life. I make decisions that are best for me. Hi, this is Dr. Anita with another Diamond Moment. The diamonds of our lives are produced through time, heat, and pressure. But it's up to us to gather the value from these experiences to grow in life. If these messages are enlightening or have helped you in any way, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I really do want to hear from you. Today our topic is the power of one. And once again, I suggest using your Diamond Journey journal. Becoming is a process, and a process has stages by me, Dr. Anita McLaughlin, to capture your spiritual, financial, social, emotional, and physical thoughts, or to make your plan for moving forward. It's a one-year journal without dates. You simply start the day you receive it, setting small, and I say that again, small, monthly, weekly, and daily tasks, which will move you forward until you reach the day you begin in the following year. Get your journal, write down your thoughts, and let's get started. The power of one. My dad used to say it all the time. One person can make a difference. Sometimes, as we know, it only takes one. And I want to ask, are you that one? Much of what we talk about is being an individual, is separating ourselves from the pack and becoming who we really want to be, developing our own voice, living our lives in a way that would allow us to achieve our greatest hopes, dreams, and desires. When we approach times like these that we're in today, do we use our hard-won independence and autonomy, or do we remain attached to the crowd? By the time this episode airs, we will be a little over a week to the United States presidential election, in which our major candidates are a former president and a woman who has distinguished herself in service to our country in the field of law. I saw Michelle Obama's speech last night at a rally in Minnesota, and she spoke outwardly what so many feel inwardly and have experienced personally. The entire topic of women running for the highest office in this country has always been controversial. We saw it in the race between Hillary Clinton and her opponent. The system in the United States developed from a society in which many of its people were uneducated. And those that were created what they called an electoral college. It was devised to gather the consensus of the regular people and to give the power of their opinions, of their desires, to a representative that was to reflect that opinion in the outcome of the presidential vote. Somehow, and I believe we know how, Hillary Clinton, who won the popular vote by millions, did not win the presidential election. This is the first time that our democracy has been threatened in the manner that it is today. And yet there are those who question the ability of an overly qualified candidate to handle the job. I think Michelle Obama said it so well, and I'll paraphrase. Why is Kamala Harris required to be overly qualified when her opponent is required to have no qualifications at all? Over the 4 years that he was in office, he was repeatedly corrected by saying that's not what he meant. And then the person would go on to say what he meant. At this point in our world's history, you would think that at the advanced age that the former president is, he would be able to say exactly what he means. And yet we still have people going back to restate his positions with what he meant. When he said that he was going to change the way women's health is handled, he did that. And today we see the outcome of what he boastfully acknowledges. As Michelle Obama described, what is involved with women's health, and I applaud her on this, is not often shared openly in our society. What the campaign of Kamala Harris has said is their position is that you don't have to agree on abortion to agree that the government should not be involved in your health care choices. And I'll take that a step farther. I'm not saying that a man's opinion in the pregnancy of his wife or his partner is not important, but what I would say is that unless you can produce a child, unless you experience what women go through on a monthly basis, it might be a good idea to step back and let her take the deciding vote in this issue. I remember in the last election, and I think I spoke on this, that there was a young African-American man that I saw on a program, and he was living in the South, and he had a young daughter that he was raising on his own. And he said that he wasn't sure on who to vote for, so he was just going to sit out this election. I wonder if he did. And if he sat out this election, I wonder now, does he have an opinion, since his own daughter will now live a life where the rights that her mother and her mother's mother had have now been stripped away from her. His daughter lives in a state where she can be sexually abused and forced to carry a baby to term. His daughter is among one half of this country's population whose rights to determine their own medical decisions regarding their own bodies have been removed. And I just wonder if he's satisfied today with sitting out the election. I was looking at another interview program in which a major celebrity, a hip-hop celebrity, was being interviewed. And in the statement the host made, he said that this particular celebrity usually doesn't give his political opinion. So the celebrity himself is a person that I really like. And I understand why he was hesitant in giving his opinion on who he was voting for. Because as you know, a celebrity needs to be popular and supported by everyone, no matter what their political affiliation. But he said something that was really a very good statement. And he said this: I hope that you will vote like you have some sense. And I see the same and hope the same for you. I hope that you will vote like you have some sense. There is a man who's running for office who is determined that he doesn't care about the majority of the people in this country. I wondered about that, and so I looked deeply to find out what it is that he tells the crowd that makes them want to follow him. And after a really long search, I found this one commentator who was able to put in some understanding for me. He put it in context, and he said that he tells his followers openly that he doesn't care about them. All he wants is their vote. But what his platform says is that he is willing to push everyone else down so that they can feel that he is lifting them up. He's willing to push everyone else down so that his followers can feel as though other people are beneath them. Think about it. He's willing to push down every other segment of the country in order for a group of people to feel big. But he's literally and actually not planning on doing anything for them. And he tells them to their face. They've proven time and time again that whatever you term his attitude, whatever that might be, the one thing that they've proven is that he is only concerned about himself. And I trust that you'll vote like you have some sense. The United States is one of the few countries that has not experienced a woman in the highest office of the land as president. We know that for many years, the UK had a female prime minister, and right now, Mexico has a female president. And we're all familiar with the billions of people in India, and that Indira Gandhi was the head of the Indian government for many, many, many years. Our country, being as young as it is, has not had a female president, and I personally believe that it's time. Women have always had to distinguish themselves in a way that men did not. Women have always had to be more prepared than their counterparts, and Black women have even had to go beyond that. So I have full confidence that Kamala Harris will make a wonderful president, and the heart of Tim Walz is evident. There's an expression that says, "I may not remember what you said, but I'll never forget the way you make me feel." I feel as though watching them, hope has returned to our country. I see the joy in their interactions. I see the excitement of the crowd around them. And listening to their words and their entire vibe, since we've been talking about vibrations, I believe we need once again in this country. I was never in agreement with this illusion that was painted by Trump and the MAGA crowd about how horrible the people are. I've never believed that. I've never believed in the values that they have when they show that they have no problem putting children in cages or villainizing everyone against the other, the removal of the rights or the stance on their candidates' criminal convictions, his history, his attempts to overthrow our election, his lies, and even his willingness in court cases to throw his own children under the bus. Think about it, his own children. Hopefully, you won't have to think about it long, but I hope that you'll vote like you have some sense. Don't forget that becoming who we were meant to be is a process. That process has stages, and I hope that the stages of your process lead you to the point where you can vote like you have some sense. Thank you so much for listening. Please continue coming back. I hope that the messages that I'm sharing are giving you something that you can think about, something that will benefit you. But remember, it's up to you to put into action what you're learning and be able to utilize the growth that you are developing in your own life, and watch not only your life change, but for this election, you being one in the power of one, have the ability to make everyone's life change. And I hope that that will be for the better. If you haven't done so, please get your Diamond Journey Journal and make a commitment to moving forward in your spiritual, financial, social, emotional, and physical goals. This one-year journal is designed to move you forward, starting with where you are today, then moving until you reach this day next year. You're invited to join me on NoomVibe on FanBase and to visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com. And join me next week for another Diamond Moment. Please vote. It's so important. And vote like you have some sense.